Jim Broadbent walks from Salcombe, South Devon, all the way to Berwick-upon-Tweed in his new movie, The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry, which was released in the UK cinemas on the 28th of April, and is a film I'll be talking about in this video review. So Jim Broadbent stars as Harold Fry, who's a man in his 60s who lives a humble, peaceful life in South Devon with his wife, Maureen, played by Penelope Wilton. And he receives a letter from Berwick-upon-Tweed from somebody from his past, a woman called Queenie, who advises that she is in a hospice and dying of cancer. She's terminally ill. And Harold Fry, after speaking with a young girl in a shop, who advises it's all about what's in the heart, people can be saved. Harold Fry makes the decision to walk from Devon 500 miles across England right up to Berwick-upon-Tweed. Now, I'm going to be doing a long distance walk in a couple of weeks. I'm going to be walking the Southern Upland Way. So this film, I thought I'd maybe watch this film. It gave me a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of motivation for this walk. However, it didn't quite do that. There are things I liked about this movie, things I didn't like about this movie. The things I liked, I thought the story was quite well written. I think the way that it unfolded, you don't know much about Harold Fry. However, as the walk goes on, there's flashback scenes. There is moments from his past involving a son, and the story kind of unfolds as the movie goes on. And I think there's a good sort of heart and soul behind the writing of this movie. It is quite personal. It's quite a sad story, quite a tragic story. However, on a more negative note, the film had a bit more of a sort of somber tone about it. I feel it didn't really, for a film about a man who walks a long way, I felt there was a lack of energy in this film. I felt the way that the scenes were structured was a little bit repetitive at times. And overall, there were points. Overall, I did start to get a little bit bored watching it. I'm afraid. There's points in the film where he walks from Devon, half an hour in. There's shots of Exeter Cathedral, and I'm like, oh, he's only at Exeter. 45 minutes, an hour into the film, there's shots of the city of Bath. I'm like, oh, he's only at Bath. He's got to make it up to Berwick. I did sort of think, how long's this film got to go? When's he going to get to Berwick? And it was more a case of, and then he got to Berwick, and then this happened, and then that happened. I thought the film lacked energy, was a little bit dry, and a little bit sadder than what I thought it would be. There's some interesting themes of guilt, themes of grief, things of having unresolved issues from the past and trying to make amends. But overall, this is not a film I would watch again. In spite of its artistic merits and artistic strengths, I was uninspired by this movie. There are good things about it. Jim Broadbent's good as Harold Fry. He's a good actor, and it's a good story. Directed by Hetty MacDonald, based on the book by Rachel Joyce. Unfortunately for me, I would give this film overall was quite average, a little bit duller and drier than what I'd hoped. So overall, a thumbs down. But I would give this movie a 5.5 out of 10. That's 5.5 out of 10 from me for The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry. But let me know what you think if you've seen it. Comment below. If there's any other films about people who do long distance walks, long distance travelling, put some suggestions below and I'll give them a watch. But Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry gets a 5.5 out of 10 from me. My name is Robert, you're listening to Glasgow Movie Addict, and I will be back with you on the next review. Speak to you soon. Thank you.